This is my Legally Blind Journal 49 already. So definitely worked harder at taking the breaks that my eyes need. And while it was not migraine free by any means or stretch of the imagination, I had a couple of less migraines last week, which was great. I ended most days where my reading hadn't been significantly diminished. So definitely much better than the week prior in that respects. Just not trying to overstrain them and not trying to tax them beyond what their limits are. And that's the thing you got to realize. There are limits to them now, and there's repercussions if you exceed said limits. It's kind of like driving a car without oil in it. It'll do it for a while, and then something's gonna break. So I'm holding steady right now at about 10-ish on my 10 inches ish on my reading vision. That doesn't mean it's perfectly clear or anything. But it's doable. My peripheral has not diminished any further. Thank the Lord on that one. That's always something. I was at a little graduation party and last night, and it's always a challenge in a new environment or a different thing because people don't know, and people are walking up and jump scaring you like it's Halloween all night long because you get so used to where people with standard vision can pick you out in a crowd and whatnot, and you don't realize, when you're standing, just over here, and you start talking, it scares the bejesus out of somebody that can't see you over there, and not anybody's fault. It just is what it is. So dealt with that for some last night, and then people that know me and know the condition that are 5-6 feet away would say, "Hey Troy, it's so and so," and then they would start the conversation, and which is good because that far off. I mean, 5 feet, it's a guy, it's a girl, yeah. 8 to 10 feet, it's a guy, it's a girl, it's a pine tree. I don't know, but it's talking, So, but the ones who didn't know, were definitely scratching their head on that one a little bit, and it had to be explained to them why you have to announce who you are if you want me to know who you are, especially in an environment where there's people talking that I don't know or don't talk to very often, so I don't recognize their voices as well. One thing that I thought was interesting was, and it's funny the things that you pick up. They always say, oh, one sense is going down, another's going up, and I don't know if I always believed in that too much, but yeah, it's probably pretty true because I was sitting at a table and I said, "Hey, so and so," and it's buddy's wife, and she was like, "How'd you know it was me?" Because she didn't say anything or anything. She just walked in the room. I said, "Your flip flops. They make a sharper, higher pitched, elongated flip and plop compared to so and so and so and so." There's 3 or 4 people in there walking around with flip flops, and their different flip flops were making different sounds. And I hadn't even thought about that. Like I wasn't intentionally trying to memorize people's flip flops. It just happened, and so that kind of turned into almost a game for some people, obviously, which is fine. But yeah, people would walk in and out of the room, and their footfalls were different. And so once I knew who I was talking to, I guess I was listening to him walk away and somehow made that connection. So that was kind of interesting. I thought. So made me think about what are all the different things in the environment that I'm cueing in on that I don't even think about, and so I'm going to try and think about that a little bit over the next week or so, and see if I can pick anything else out that's happening with. So, any rate, biggest thing I'd say in the last week or so is really focusing hard on making sure I in my personal and my work life, I get my job done. But also, while doing that, not neglecting my personal health, and not just acting like I don't have this issue with my vision, pushing through every break and whatnot, like you're Superman or whatever. Taking the time, slowing it down, doing the breaks, self care has to be important. And, that's just all there is to it. And so hopefully this week, see another reduction in these migraines, as long as I'm not stupid and, with my breaks and taking care of myself and those things. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful. So, any rate, not a whole lot going on that other than say that, happy it didn't drop any further. The breaks, on my work side seemed to be a big deal for me. On my personal side, just not trying to overdo it, reading wise, that's really the big thing. And it seems to be making a pretty significant difference. So we'll see where that goes. But hopefully in the next week I'll have the chicken coop done, and then if you got stressors or whatever in life, go pet a goat, go pet a chicken. Oh Lord. At any rate, we'll see what happens over the next week. I'm going to continue to focus heavy on making sure I take the appropriate breaks for me, and making sure that I make self-care a priority, because I don't need to lose my reading vision faster than what's going to happen. I don't need to push it out the door. It might keep this 10 inches-ish for years to come, might be days. There's no guarantee either way. Only guarantee, I would say, based on my experience thus far, is if I overdo it and overpush it, I'll push it right off the ledge way faster than it would naturally. So I got to be careful about that and do the right thing. All right. Well, y'all be good out there. For anybody who's dealing with stuff, just remember the attitude is the key, man. You walk into it negative, you will walk out of it negative. You walk into it positive, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you sure enough got a better chance of walking out with a better attitude if you walked in with one. Y'all be good out there. Peace.